Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us for ICAEW case study November 2021 orientation. Basically, this is just basically an orientation about ICAEW case study for November 2021 exams. So first of all, let's start with the contents of our today's orientation. First of all, we will be discussing the no pass and no fee model. What do you mean by no pass, no fee? There is a good news for students. Secondly, we will discuss the tutor's profile. Definitely, some students discuss this question. What about faculty? What about tutor who is going to teach us particular subject? Then we will discuss about case study introduction. What is case study? What type of exam it is basically? What type of question? And then so on. Exam structure of case study. Advanced information. Yes, this is basically a new concept. Either you are from ACC stream, you are from ICAEW or any other professional or academic background, this advanced information would be a new concept for ICAEW case study. Then we will discuss why students fail, why majority of students fail, what are the common reasons, and how you can overcome those issues so you can pass out your exam, so you can get good grades within your very first attempt. Then we will discuss some of our results of previous exam attempts, and then we will also discuss what is our study approach, what we are going to do, how we will study, what will be our exam techniques, exam approaches, and then so on. And finally, our session will be closed on question and answer session. I will be taking up questions from all of you, and then our session will be closed. So these are the contents for our today's orientation. So let's start. First of all, we will discuss about no pass, no fee model. What is no pass, no fee model? For example, if you study with a tuition provider, I hope that you are going to pass. But if unfortunately you get fail, then definitely we have to pay some fee, some tuition fee, some charges in very next term. But if you study with us, then definitely we have some terms and condition for no pass, no fee model. So if you will study with us, if you are going to meet out our terms and condition, hopefully you are going to pass. But if unfortunately you are not going to pass, then there will be no tuition fee for you. So you can study free of cost in very next attempt basically. So that is a no pass, no fee model. If you are not going to pass, then definitely there would be no tuition fee. But for this, we have some terms and condition. So students who will be interested in knowing the terms and condition, definitely they can discuss, and then we can provide them with terms and condition. Next thing, that is basically about tutor's profile. I am Numan Jakat, your mentor, your tutor for ICAEW advanced level and for case study as well. I am basically an ICAEW member. I qualified my ACCA many years ago, and I qualified through passing my exams and not through pathway. I am also FCC, the highest status from ACCA side. I also hold membership of PIFA as well. That is also another IFAC body. I hold more than 7+ years of teaching experience to different online forums and approved learning partners as well. Oxford Brookes mentor, 5+ years of industry experience. I am also a lecturer at university, and I also hold business finance professional certification from UK as well. So that's a brief background about myself. Now let's start immediately about the case study. Case study. What is case study basically? If you talk about rest of the 14 exams of ICAEW or other exams of ACCA or other qualification, then these exams are quite different. And ICAEW case study is basically a unique exam. Why it is a unique exam? There are a lot of reasons why it is called as unique exam basically. First of all, it does not involve any technical knowledge. It means you do not need to study IAS, IFRS, taxation, audit, financial management, business strategy, or any other thing. So these points would not be applicable. You do not need to learn IAS 2, auditing rules, ISA 315, business strategy rules, and so on. There is no need to go for your technical knowledge. If there is a no need for technical knowledge, then what it is basically? Case study is purely a skills-based exam. So your skills are going to be tested out in your case study exam basically. And in your case study, you have to write a report. So it is basically a report writing exam. When we use the word report, then some of the students, in fact, most of the students think that report means like you have to submit some kind of project or some kind of thesis, some kind of assignment. No, it is not like that. Report writing is also an exam basically. So you have to write a report in your exam of ICAEW case study. Obviously, we will discuss about what is the structure of report in our coming and complete sessions basically. There is also a concept of advanced information. What is the concept of advanced information? We will discuss in a moment. Then we will discuss about exam requirements. How many questions we can expect in our case study. And then what are the ethical issues? Obviously, as you people will be aware that ethics are very, very important in your ICAEW case study exam. Either it's your first exam or it's your last exam, ethics are very, very important. They play a significant role in your life, basically. So that's why we have to bound with our ethical rules, ethical values, basically. Now, let's discuss about basically the exam structure of case study. If we talk about the exam structure, then in our case study is basically a 100 marks exam. Like your other exams, case study is also a 100 marks exam, and obviously passing is basically at 50%. So you have to get 50% marks to qualify your case study exam. But there are some rules and some logic, we will discuss it too. In case study, we have 3 requirements. There will be only one question. There will be only one question. We have 2 questions in SVM. We have 3 questions in corporate reporting, or different number of questions in our different exam. But in case study, we have only one question of 100 marks basically. This one question will be divided into 3 requirements. Requirement number 1, requirement number 2, and requirement number 3 basically. Let's discuss each requirement in detail. Requirement number 1 is basically about financial analysis. What is financial analysis? For example, let's say it is 2020, and let's say it is 2021 basically. Let's say your gross profit was, let's say it was $200 million, and now your gross profit is $350 million basically. So it looks like your gross profit has been increased by 150 million from your 2020, that was your previous year. But you should know about the reason. What is the reason behind this increase? Obviously, it could be, possibly there could be 2 reasons, like it could be due to revenue, or it could be due to cost of sale, or it could be due to both revenue and cost of sale as well. Again, in revenue, you have to see what has happened. Either your selling price has changed or your volume has changed, or it is quite possible that both selling price and volumes could be changed as well. Your economic conditions might be changed, your competitiveness might be changed, or there could be a lot of factors why your revenue has changed significantly. Then again, same thing with cost of sale. In cost of sale, you will see what is the breakup of your cost of sale: direct material, labor, overheads, or what it is basically. So why something is increasing, why something is decreasing, and you also need to perform a small amount of research. You also need to perform a small amount of research. Why? just to make sure that you also consider your economy, what economy is doing, what your competitors are doing basically, and what you are doing. Let's say your gross profit has increased by $150 million. It looks like a very huge increase. But on the other hand, it is quite possible that overall in industry, there could be an increase of $200 million. If on average in industry there is an increase of 200 million dollar, but your gross profit has increased by 150 million, then my commentary will be changed. Why it has happened so? Why there is a loss for me of $50 million? Why my profit is little bit less as compared to my competitors? So we have to find out the reason why it is happening. So what will be the impact? On the other hand, it is quite possible, like your competitors' gross profit might increase by 75 million, but you have achieved excellent performance and your gross profit has increased by 150 million. So it means you have outperformed your competitors. You are doing an excellent job. So you have to discuss in any case, if you are at same level with your competitors, if you are performing above or performing below than your competitor, then you have to discuss what is the reason behind your performance. Either you are growing, you are declining, you are static, whatever it is, you have to discuss the reason. What is the reason behind your numbers? Most of the students just discuss like your profit or your revenue, your cost has been increased or decreased by a particular amount or a specific percentage. It is not just about numbers. You have to discuss the reason, because numbers can be calculated in a very good and efficient way by Excel or any other software. As a chartered accountant, examiner expects from us some reasons, some logics basically. So that is basically a theme of your case study. So we will be talking about financial analysis, and then in financial analysis, we have to prepare an appendix basically. What is appendix? Obviously, in appendix, there will be calculation about revenue, about profit, or any other exam requirement that is being mentioned by your examiner. In appendix, sometimes we also have a twist. What is a twist? Twist is basically your additional requirement. That is your additional requirement, or you can say extra requirement. For example, you have analyzed your management accounts, then let's say examiner might say, let's say you have a receivable of $100,000. You have a receivable of $100,000, but let's say there is a dispute with this receivable, with this party. So it is possible that you are going to recover only 17% from this amount. Let's say you will receive only 17% of this amount, and 83% of this amount would be classified as bad debt. So if 83% of this amount would be classified as a bad debt, that it means you have to adjust your receivables. You have to go for provision. You have to adjust your profitability, your management accounts basically. So what will be the impact? Definitely, it could have significant impact on your financial statement. So you have to discuss what will be the impact and then what we should do, what we should go for. So we will conclude, we will go for recommendation, like you can discuss with your receivable, what are the issues? You should try your best to resolve those issues. Otherwise, you are going to lose out your amount. So you should learn how you can negotiate, how you can discuss with your this party, this customer, just to make sure that you do not lose your receivable, you do not lose your this amount, and also your future sales basically. So that is called as twist. That is your additional requirement. It could be for receivables, it could be for inventory, it could be for payable, it could be for cash or any other area basically. This was basically about requirement one, that is financial analysis. Now let's talk about requirement number two, that is financial data analysis, or it is also called as FDA, that is financial data analysis. In financial data analysis, there will be a data. and we have to use that data to go for to calculation of profitability, revenue, or any other thing that is being required from examiner. Let's say you are a juice company that manufactures, that produces juices of different types, and let's say in your juices your price was $2 per juice, $2. And let's say in last year there was 100,000 units. 100,000 units are going to be sold in previous year. But now you are considering that you have to increase your price from $2 to $3 basically. Obviously, you are going to increase your price by $1. So what will be the impact? What will be the impact on your sales quantity? Impact of sale quantity, impact on, you can say impact on sales quantity basically. What will be the impact? Either your sales are going to increase, your sales are going to decrease because you have increased your selling price in this case. So what will be the impact? You have to use that data, you have to use other assumptions like what will be your cost, what your competitors are doing, what is their cost, what is their selling price, what are their margin. So you have to look at multiple points basically. This is called as financial data analysis. Sometime in financial data analysis, we have to use some basic models like ROCE, IRR, sensitivity analysis, and many other points basically. Sensitivity analysis and many other models basically, just to make sure how sensitive our these calculation, these assumptions are basically. Again, if it involves calculation, then for calculation, we have to prepare an appendix. And again, it could also involve a twist element in this case as well. So this is basically about requirement number 2, that is for your financial data analysis. Requirement number 3, that is basically about your business analysis. What is business analysis? Sometimes students think that in business analysis that you have to use the SWOT model, you have to use PESTEL or any other suitable models basically. No. In this exam, you do not need to use your SWOT model, do not need to use your PESTEL model basically. Because in this exam, you do not need to use their name. You can use their some of the points just to highlight. Use some points to find out an appropriate strategy. Let's say you import raw material, you import something from USA. So what could be the other option apart from USA from where you can import? Let's say you can import from UK, you can import from Asia, or you can import from any other sector basically. What will be the implication? You have to look at reputation of supplier. Either your supplier is ethical or not basically. It is quite possible like your supplier might use child labor. So definitely you should not involve with such a customer, with such a supplier who is involved in ethical issues basically, because ethics play a very, very important role. You should avoid, you should discourage such terms, such organizations, such people who are being involved in malpractices, who are being involved in ethical issues like bribery, child labor, or any other problems basically. So you should be very, very careful. So in business analysis, there might be a small calculation. It may be or it may not be a small calculation for your supplier, for your customer, for your appropriate strategy. Let's say, so what it will be, what will be the implication? That is something most important. What will be the impact on your business of choosing a particular supplier, of choosing a particular strategy basically? So business analysis, it could be about supplier, It could be about particular strategy, or it could be about some sort of expansion basically. That is your requirement number 3. Requirement 1, requirement 2, requirement 3, and we also discussed briefly about your ethical issues. Apart from this, we also have to write one thing that is called as executive summary. What is executive summary? Executive summary is for senior management, particularly for BOD, Board of Directors basically. That is your executive summary. Because most of the time, Board of Directors do not have much time to read out a complete report. So you just need to write out your executive summary basically. So for each of the requirement 1, requirement 2, and requirement 3, you are going to write down the executive summary. So definitely we will discuss in our complete session what is a detail about executive summary, how you should write, what you should write, and what you should not write in your executive summary. So this is something very, very important. Apart from executive summary, we will be having complete session for your requirement 1, separate session for requirement 2, and separate sessions for requirement number 3. Because you should know what are the techniques, what are the tools you can apply in your these type of analysis. Because most of the time when we talk about financial analysis, then students think they have to use their ratios. No. In ICAW case study, examiner do not expect from your side you should calculate and comment on ratio. It is something different what you have to do basically. So we will be having our session on these points basically. The most important and interesting thing about this case study exam, you have to pass every requirement. That is something very, very unique that makes case study a very unique exam from the rest of your 14 exams of ICAW. What does that mean? Let's say you scored 75% in requirement 2, you scored 70% in requirement, 75% in requirement 1, 70% in requirement 2, and unfortunately 49% in requirement 3. Then overall, it is going to be a fail. Because in each requirement, it is important for you to get at least 50% marks. At least 50% marks in each requirement. Either it's a requirement 1, requirement 2, or requirement 3. Also in your executive summary, you must know, you must obtain at least 50% of your marks. So this passing criteria makes case study a very, very unique exam. So you must be very, very careful that you pass out all of your requirements. Otherwise, you might be at risk of failing your exam. So we will discuss what is the criteria and how we can achieve this criteria. What is the marking key of ICAEW? Because in ICAW, the marking key is basically about a box marking key. Here we have 40 boxes. So out of 40 boxes, we have to obtain multiple boxes just to make sure that we pass out our exam basically. There is a grading structure as well. So what is a grading structure? What is a marking key? What are the boxes? How many boxes you need to type? We will discuss these points in our coming session basically. Moving forward, now let's talk about the advanced information. What is advanced information and how this advanced information can be used basically? For example, you have to attend a meeting and you have to attend a meeting with your bank. You have to discuss about financing. So you must be familiar with your meeting agenda, what type of meeting it is. Like it is basically about short-term finance, long-term finance, renegotiation, restructuring, overdraft, or what it is basically. So it means you must know about the agenda of your meeting. What points will be discussed, what topic we are going to discuss basically. So in a similar way, advanced information is just basically about information about your industry. about your company. And this advanced information is released 6 weeks, approximately 6 weeks before exam. So in this advanced information, there will be approximately 40 to 50 pages. There would be information about industry, your company, what type of industry. Let's say it could be your books industry, it could be your juice industry, it could be your hairdresser. Yes, hairdresser is also being examined around 10 years ago, basically. It could involve any other industry, basically. It could be like shoe industry, it could be like your pet industry. There could be multiple industries that could be examined by the examiner. So apart from industry, examiner will also give a fictional company. So you have to analyze the management accounts of this company. Let's say you are going to appear in 2021 exam, that is November 2021. So examiner will give you 2017, 18, 19, and 2020 management accounts in your advanced information. So 3 to 4 years of management accounts would be given in your advanced information, in your management accounts. In your real exam, in our real exam, examiner will give us 2021 accounts, basically. So we have to see what is the trend in last 3 to 4 years that has been given to us and what we can do for 2021 accounts, basically. That is your real exam. Sometimes some students think advanced information is released, so it is just like a report, it is just like a thesis. No. Previous year accounts would be given in advanced information, but new year, new information would be given in your exam. That is basically called as your exam paper. So you have to use majority of your information that will be used in your exam would be from your exam paper. But definitely advanced information is going to help you a lot. What is the economy, what competitors are doing, or what you should do, basically. Apart from this, there would be some key assumptions for financial data analysis, strategic analysis, and many other types of analysis. There would be information about suppliers and customers, who your suppliers are, who could be your supplier, who are your customers, who are your competitors, and so on. Business models, yes. What business model you are using? What business model can be used for appropriate strategy for successful launch of your product or services? There would be some articles, some latest article, like for 2020, 2021, what is happening out in the industry. Then there would be some ethical issues, some ethical concerns, basically. And lastly, there will be some other information that will be available in advanced information. So that is your advanced information, what it includes and what is being a part of advanced information, basically. Now let's discuss why students fail. It is something very, very interesting. We have 3 different boxes, 1, 2, and 3. But the second box, it is box 1, box 2, and box 3, basically. But I have highlighted box 2 with red color. Why? There is a reason, because the reasons of box 2 are very, very common reasons. First of all, time management. Yes, students are very poor with their time management, although it's a 4 hours exam. If we talk about advanced level, then it is 3.5 hours exam. But case study is a 4 hours exam. Apart from 4 hours, students are going to fail out their exam due to poor time management, poor exam techniques, because either they write too much. Why? Because they write too much or they write too less for a particular requirement. And I already told you that in your case study, you have to make sure that you pass out all of your requirements, requirement 1, requirement 2, requirement 3, and also your executive summary. So if any of the component is going to be failed, then unfortunately you are going to fail out your exam. So you have to make sure that You are very good with your time management. You use good exam techniques, not balancing the paper. Again, writing too much, too less, or requirement 3. Because students are sometimes very good with the number, but on theory side, they are not good. Why they are not good? Because they lack ideas basically. So if you lack ideas, this is something not good for your case study. You must be very, very good with your business ideas. Apart from this, there are some other reasons. For example, poor analysis. Yes, if you are going to analyze your management accounts, then most of the students perform ratio analysis. This is not required from your side. It is not just basically about either one number is increasing or one number is decreasing. You should link your numbers with your performance, with your history, with economy, with your statistics, with competitors. What your economy? What about your competitors? What about your customers, suppliers, performance? How overdraft could impact your business performance. So a lot of points you need to discuss. Not understanding examiner's key. Yes, this is something very, very important. Why? In examiner's key, we have a grading structure. In examiner's key, we have a boxes structure basically. So what is a grading structure? What is a boxing structure? How we can understand, because you must be very, very good. If you are very well prepared, but you do not know examiner's key, if you do not know grading structure, then it could be difficult for you to pass out your exam. Coherence concerns writing expression. Yes, definitely. One sentence is about revenue. Second is basically about cost of sale. Third is basically about overheads. So all of your sentences are individual sentences. There is not a complete meaning about your performance. So you should link up why revenue is increasing. As I told you, revenue could be increased due to two reasons. Primarily, there are two reasons. Due to change in sales price or due to change in volume, or it could be due to both. Economy could be there. There could be some new customer, new contract. There could be multiple reasons basically. So you should discuss what is the reason behind your particular increase. If we talk about box 3, then box 3 is basically about some journalism like lack of practice, because students think either we are having a good job with as an auditor, as an accountant, or as a financial analyst, so we are very good. We do not need to go for practice. No, you must go with your practice. Why? Because if you do not practice, it could be difficult for you. Particularly, we have a new exam software. ICAEW introduced new exam software in your July 2021. So from July 2021, there will be new exam software. Definitely in November 2021, you have to use a new exam software. What is new exam software? How this software can be used to analyze what information will be in new exam software, how we have to write our answers basically, how we can export, how Excel could be used, what are the different reasons, what formulas, what guidance will be available in Excel, what we can use, what we cannot use, what are the limitations. You must be familiar with your things. Either you can copy your formulas, your sheet, your table, or you cannot copy. Requirement addressing, yes, you must be very good with your requirement. What is particular requirement? Revenue, cost, profitability, gross profit, KPIs, what it is, and poor executive summary. Yes, because the very last thing you are going to complete in your exam is your executive summary, a brief summary of your analysis. So you must be very, very good with your executive summary as well, because it is an essential component to pass out your case study exam. Moving forward, now how we are going to study, this is basically another point. We have divided our study in two areas. Study session, first of all. Second, it is basically about practice session. First of all, we will be having our multiple session on understanding the case study. It is just basically the orientation. So we will discuss what is case study, what is marking structure, what is grading structure, what is boxes style, What about requirement 1, 2, and 3? What about executive summary basically? So we will be having individual session on our every topic basically. How ethics can be used in your exam, what you have to write or what you do not need to write for your ethics. Because mostly students mention about 5 different code of ethics: integrity, objectivity, confidentiality, professional behavior, professional duty, professional behavior, and so on basically. So you should not be familiar with these. It's good, but it is not compulsory. It could be about threats like self-interest threats, self-review, intimidation, and so on. No, it is not required from your side. So in case study, these are ethical and business issues, not about 5 code of ethics, not about threats. So you should be good with your ethic and business trust issues. We will be having a session on ethic, on business trust issues. What are business trust issues? What are commercial issues basically? What are sustainability points? Then we will be having some previous case studies practice. Different people, different tuition providers have different point of view. Some of them think that it is not good, it's not a good practice to use previous case study. But I believe we must go with this practice. Why? Because it will allow us to understand marking key of examiner. What examiner expects from a student, how your case study is going to be a pass, what should be structure of your report, what about time management. Because when you are going to write down your some of the previous case study, then in first 2-3 case studies you are going to face your time management, report structuring, marking key, and many other problems. So if you will practice some of the previous case studies, then it will be good for you. But you must be very good with this point, like which case studies, which past papers you have to use, because case study examiner also changes its marking key basically. If you are going to use the old marking key, then this is something not good for you. So you must be familiar with your latest marking key, use latest study material for your session and for your preparation. Then we will discuss about marking key. We will be having a session on marking key, basically how your exam is going to mark basically. If you are going to study with us, then I also going to mark out your exam, how it will be. We will just show you in a moment basically. Exam skills, yes, definitely. In report writing, you need a lot of skills basically. In ICW, you need 4 to 5 different skills for passing your case study. As I mentioned, there are some grades. What are those grades? How those grades can be achieved, because different grades will give you different marks. And lastly, we will discuss about time management. For example, if your time is running out, what you need to do basically, what are the techniques if your time is not in your control. First of all, it should be in your control, but if due to some unfortunate reason it is not in control, then what you should do. There are some smart techniques as well, we will discuss in our last session. We will also discuss about your professional skill. Yes, because case study is the last exam. When you will qualify this exam, and if you meet out other conditions, other terms of ICW, you are going to apply for your ACF membership, the prestigious qualification. So examiner expects professional skill. That's why we do not have accounting, auditing, reporting, financial management, business strategy, or tax, or any other exam in your case study. It is just about your skills, how you can write your executive summary, how you can balance out your exam paper. So as we discussed previously, what are the reasons of students' failure? We will cover all of those reasons, how you can overcome those points basically. Then exam vocabulary, because most of the students just use one word, your one figure is increasing or other figure is decreasing. It is not wrong, it's fine. But if you want to get good grades, if you want to write out a professional report, you should not just use 2 words, increasing or decreasing. You should structure your paragraph, you should structure your sentences in an appropriate way. So it ensured that there are professional skills, appropriate grades as well. So there is a list of exam vocabulary as well. As this session is basically about particularly for November 2021, so we will discuss advanced information for November 2021 that will be released approximately in September, last week of September. So when advanced information will be released, we will be using that new advanced information. I will be analyzing the advanced information. We will be having our sessions on advanced information, and then we will be discussing the advanced information. Students will also be analyzing their advanced information. They will be sharing their analysis with my side. So I will be reviewing and providing them feedback, what they have done or what they should incorporate in their exam time. Basically, there will be at least 2 to 3 mock exams on your new advanced information, just to allow you people that you also understand your advanced information in a very good way. I will be also providing you feedback on your mock exam, on your previous past papers, basically, just to make sure what you have done right, what you have done wrong, and how it can be improved, basically. And finally, there will be exam file, because exam file is something very, very important that can play a significant role in passing your exam. What is exam file and how this exam file can be used? I will share the format and structure of this exam file with all of my registered students, basically. Moving forward, here are some of the results from previous exam attempt. Because as I mentioned that we will be having our session for advanced level, including corporate reporting, strategic business management, and case study. So we have included just some of the results for some of our students, basically. Obviously, we cannot share their names, and we cannot share their registration numbers with public. So there was some results discussion. Now it is basically the very last few things that this is basically, for example, a sample. This is basically a report from our previous student. Basically, our student write a report and shared with us like this in this way. Then I analyze this report. What are the good points or what are the bad points? Like what you should do, what are the mistakes, basically. So in this way, for example, this was due to a 40% increase. What is 40%? What is your comparative figure, basically? How this is a 40%? Either this 41% is from previous year, from budget figure, from forecast figure, management accounts, any other target, or what it is basically. It is $7590. Either this figure is in million, thousand, billion, or what. Student just mentioned some grammatical mistakes, some other mistake. It was not a clear point. So we will analyze, we will review your exam structure, your scripts in this way, and will provide you feedback, what is good, what is not good, what you should improve. This student improved a lot, and finally this student passed its case study in very first time. Thank you very much, all of you, for joining us for this orientation. I hope you have enjoyed this session. These are our contact details. If you are interested to join us, then you are most welcome. And now it will be a question and answer session, basically. Thank you.